Now this technique comes from the September 2005 issue of Photoshop User, and we're going to show you how to take a shot of an old building and put a new sign on it and make it appear like it's been there for forever and a day. It was called the weather beaten technique. So let's go ahead and bring that image of the sign we're going to place in there. And you can see it's a nice pristine looking sign. Now we're going to switch to the move tool and just drop it, drag and drop it right onto the photo there, and let's reposition it so we can get in about the location we think is going to look best. Let's try it right about, right in there somewhere. Actually, I'm going to move it up just a bit. That looks pretty good. And let's hide this image. Now we're going to zoom in here, and what we're going to try and do is, if you follow or see where the planks actually come together in the original image, we're going to make a selection on our new sign that kind of copies or looks right over the top of those. So let's grab the rectangular marquee tool, and we'll make a selection. And you don't have to be too precise. That's just, I'm going to hold the shift key to add that selection, and let's just go right down the set of boards and make multiple selections. Now the images don't have to be, or the selection doesn't have to be exactly the same height. Let's just get it close. So we'll just go right down here and make this last one. Alright, so we've got our selections, and you can see they kind of vary in size, but that's alright, it's not going to really hurt anything. Now what we want to try and do is soften the edges of these. So we're going to press Command Option D, PC Control Alt D, and let's enter a 2 pixel radius. Hit OK. Now we're going to bring up the Levels dialog box, so press Command L. And what we're going to do is take this Highlight Outputs level slider and move it towards the left to darken this area in here. I'm going to press Command H just to hide that selection so we can see what's going on back there. Let's just take that slider and move it towards the left. You can see it's really darkening up the areas in there. And that looks pretty good. Now let's press Command D to deselect. Now we've got the shadow areas in our sign. What we want to do is take the blend mode of the sign and change it to overlay. And you can see immediately it already looks like it's part of the building. You can see some of the areas that are eaten away. It looks like these shadow portions that we just created are really sunken in to those wood planks. So that looks pretty good. Now, it still, areas look a little bit too vivid, like the red in here, and some of the stuff just looks too new. So we're going to lower the opacity of that layer to 85%. And just enough to knock off some of the brightness, or knock down some of the brightness. Now the last thing we want to do is, if you look, the edges really still look a little bit too crisp on the sign, and there's areas that just look too perfect. So we're going to use the eraser tool, and we're going to select a brush, scatter brush, or spatter, and what we're going to do, lower the opacity of the brush to 20%, and we're going to go into our layer and just start erasing away big chunks of the sign. And you can use the original image as a guide to where you want to knock away some of the corners of this. It really makes it easy to look and see what's behind it. And you can go in there and just rough up some of these areas in here, just kind of lighten them, and maybe knock out some of these corners down here arbitrarily. And just like that, just enough to make it look so it isn't quite so pristine. I like going along these edges here and really getting rid of the stuff where the sign actually comes together, the planks of wood comes together where the sign is. So there you go right there. That does it. Taking a new sign, made it look like it's been on this building forever and a day.